entire team who have dedicated their enormous time and energy in bringing together our global community of film creators, resulting yet in another exceptional Pomegranate Film Festival. Thank you, Seva, and all the organizers and all the volunteers. To the new filmmakers, we want to say welcome, and welcome back to the returning ones. As Varit said earlier, we really are a family. This year, we screened over 50 films from 13 countries, showcasing a variety of subjects and talent from around the world. We would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate the Hamazkayin Cultural and Educational Society for its 50th year of exceptional cultural service to the community. Congratulations, Hamazkayin. It's been said that cinema should be the sharing of emotions in a mirror by which we often see ourselves, and it should always be in touch with the soil of the country. And the films we screened ultimately celebrated the heartland of Armenia. Whether it be through the stories of our legendary icons, Komitas Vartabet and Aram Khachagurian, to the magical realism of fantasy, to the war in Artsakh, and issues like mental illness and women's rights. We also were delighted by wonderful comedies that made us laugh. Cinema is not only about making people dream, it's about changing things and making people think. To the remarkable and moving documentaries, to the well-crafted dramatic shorts, from stories of the past to the new and revitalized Armenia, this year's re-entry showcased an excellent collection of varied and worthwhile subjects. As noted filmmaker Martin Scorsese, who we like to refer to as the partner of our beloved writer Mardik Martin, who passed away, said, "Now more than ever, we need to talk to each other and understand how we best see the world, and cinema is the best medium for doing this." Congratulations to all the filmmakers with your immense talent and imagination, making the decision to choose a single winner in each of the categories even more difficult. And after much deliberation, we, the jury, have come up with the award winners in each category. And now to our first award, Best Short Film, an Ariel Award. Please welcome me in introducing jury member Kumru Belici.
Good evening. I'm so happy to be here another year. This is my favorite festival. And tonight I'm honored to present the Best Short Film Award. The first, we have an Honorable Mention Award. This masterful work that shows the skill and the direction and cinematography that tells a nuanced story of race, identity, and compassion. The Honorable Mention Award goes to Laura and Majid. The director is not here, so we are going to accept the award on behalf of her, and we will make sure that she is going to receive the award. So, in Best Short Drama category, the jury decided to give the award to two different films this year. The first film tells the painful but much needed homecoming story of an Armenian man after many years who goes back to Bolis to find the love of his life that he left behind years ago. With its beautiful, poignant storytelling, powerful acting, and deep and thoughtful narrative, the first Short Drama Award goes to Gülsün Odabaş last September. So the second film shares the Short Drama Award goes to a brilliant film which has a taste of Italian neorealism with its wonderful acting, great camera work, and high intensity. This film questions the danger of taking the justice into one's own hand. The award goes to Lilith Moisyan's Trial. And again, this year we are proud to present recently created our Real Rising Star Award, which goes to an emerging filmmaker who shows passion and skills of filmmaking. For its cinema verite style filmmaking, brave and observant camera angle, this film brings us to the Armenian village during the election of 2018. This year's Avril Award goes to December. So we're going to make sure that filmmakers will receive their awards. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Nuri. And now for the documentary awards. I just want to give you a quote which I love. This is by Alfred Hitchcock about documentaries. He says, in feature films, the director is God. In documentary films, God is the director. And to introduce our God, here is Bare Naronia, the documentary films.
You know, when they say the cliche at film festivals, it was very difficult to make a decision. I learned that it's true. It is very difficult. So I'm going to start with the short docs. This film, powerful subject matter, and a brilliant stop motion animation. This film has an incredible way of telling a very tragic story by still creating hope. This short doc honorable mention award goes to Little Fayal. This incredible story of courageous and patriotic single mothers risked their lives to defuse landmines in Artsakh. Produced in classic documentary style, this film takes us into their world and exposes their harsh realities. The short documentary winner is Motherland. This courageous film, now we're on to feature documentaries. Yes. This courageous film shows the emotional journey of a filmmaker, accompanied by a Scottish explorer, uncovering the hidden past in Western Armenia. Extremely powerful, historically significant, and deeply personal. This film speaks to us all. Best feature documentary honorable mention goes to The Hidden Map. Director Rami Hamazkayin.
Շատ շնորհակալ եմ, շատ զգացված եմ, եւ ինչպես որ այսօր էսի իսկապես կզգամ, որ իրարու կպատկանենք, եւ այս երկար ճամփորդությունը աշխարհի 4 կողմերը, Կանադա, Ամերիկա, Եվրոպա, Հնդկաստան, ամենտեղ, մենք տեղը եկանք, որ մեր մամիները, պապիները, չգեցան, շինեցին, սիրեցին, գրվեցան, մեզի կյանք տվին, որ մենք շարունակենք այդ կյանքը աշխարհի 4 կողմերը եւ մեր Հայաստանի մեջ եւ որ իմանանք, որ մեր պատմական հողերը, մեր ժողովուրդը թերկան եւ կսպասեն, որ մենք վերադառնանք եւ իրենց ասենք, որ դուք մեզի կպատկանին, մենք ալ ցեզի, Thank you all. Thank you, Stephen Sim, for characters like you people in the story. I encourage everybody at some point in their life to go and see and touch and feel the places we came from, the people we come from, and who in many ways are still there waiting for us to return.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ani. Happy birthday to you. That's nice.
Okay, on to the Best Documentary Award, the Michael J. Hagopian Best Documentary Award. The breathtaking documentary featuring iconic Armenian artists who openly reveal their displacement and identity issues in their new adopted homelands. The award goes to Arménie, le temps des artistes.
Thank you. And now to our feature awards. We'll begin with the honorable mentions. We have two. This epic historical drama, spanning over 10 centuries, showcases the work of a master filmmaker through story, cinematography, and acting. Honorable mention goes to Lengthy Nights, director Edgar Baldassarian. Our second honorable mention. There's an old adage, an old saying, that says dying is easy, comedy is hard. Through excellent acting, superb editing, cinematography, and pacing, this uproarious heist film will soon become a classic among all contemporary comedies. The winner is Honest Thieves director Gore.
I guess somebody stole my award. Oh, thank you very much. Շատ ուրախ եմ սենց մրցանակ ստանալու համար, այսպիսի ֆիլմի համար, որովհետև ընդհանրապես կոմեդիաները շատ մրցանակներ չեն շահում։ Ես շատ ուրախ եմ, որ կարողանում եմ մի բան պարգևեմ իմ հանդիսատեսին, որ դժվար է, ժպիտ եւ ծիծաղ։ Անկեղծ ասեմ, նաև կուզենամ բեմ հրավիրեմ իմ partner-ին Crime-ին կինոյի, Դավիթին Թոմասյան։ Դավիթ, եթե ստեղ ես խնդրում եմ բարձրացիր, որովհետև այս մրցանակը լավ կոնն է, որովհետև իմ կողքին ես եկա առաջին օրվանից։ Դավիթը բացի որ ֆիլմի դերասանն է, նաև ֆիլմի պրոդյուսերներից մեկն է։
They're great, these two. I love them. They're really, really nice. Do you know I've worked with them for 20 years now?
Շնորհավոր եմ, եղբայր։ Շնորհակալություն մրցանակի համար, չգիտեմ, շատ ուրախ եմ սենց բան ստանալու։ Մեկ էլ ուզում եմ ջերմ ծափարություն տանք Քևորքյանի ֆիլմի համար, որովհետև անկեղծ ասած կինոն նայելուց անընդհատ մտածում եմ երբեմն եկալու հաց ուտեմ, սովածած այդքան ուտելի չի կարելի մի կինոյի ցույց տալ։ Շնորհակալություն։
Շնորհակալություն, ուրիշ բան չունեմ ասելու։ Զգացված ենք, ժողովուրդ ջան, շնորհակալություն։
And finally, our last award. For the Best Feature Film, this superbly acted, exceptional cinematography, production design, and art direction, this film based in magic realism gives us hope in these very difficult times. Despite poverty, corruption, and inequalities, we learn to persevere through the eyes of a magical child character. The award goes to Lorik, producer Martin Nelson.
Thank you all, thank you very much. Առաջի երթին շնորհակալություն այս գեղեցիկ կինոյի տոնի համար, որ դուք կարողացաք այս մթնոլորտը ստեղծել։ Մենք նկարահանեցինք մի ֆիլմ Հայաստանում, բայց ոչ միայն հայերի մասին։ Այնտեղ խաղացին մարդիկ, հայեր, բայց ոչ միայն հայերի մասին, եւ ես շատ ուրախ եմ, որ ֆիլմի երկրորդ փուլում, post-production-ում հիմնական աշխատանքը արվեց Հայաստանից դուրս։ Եվ սա թող լինի խորհրդանշանական մի շարժում, որ սփյուռքը գալիս է Հայաստան։ Մենք դրսից բերեցինք լավագույնը Հայաստան եւ այս մրցանակը ես նվիրում եմ ամբողջ մեր հայությանը, որը մասնակցել է այս ֆիլմի ստեղծմանը։ Շնորհակալություն ձեզ։
Thank you again for allowing us and honoring us to be your jury for this year, POM 2019. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just like to present you with a few gifts, courtesy of Nadinet Designs. Thank you. And now, for the winners of our Audience Choice Awards. The first runner-up for the Audience Choice Award for Best Documentary Feature Film is Hidden Map. We have Ali Hovani here tonight. Please come up to the stage to accept the award and say a few words. Welcome back.
This is very unexpected. And Shnagalem Polorit Pomegranate Film Festival. Yevtezi. Mamas Amen Ordese. Harash Nahadak Teri Amen. Tedi Haraj Poloris Miasin. Kartel Itis Erzurum Hayastan Ashkad. Volch Hay Ashkad. Yev Martbution.
Now, also from the film, one of its subjects, Stephen Sim. Is he still here tonight? Would he please come up here? Now, Stephen is really a champion of the Armenian cause. The reason I've called him up here tonight is to announce that we actually have an anonymous supporter of the festival who is so impressed by the work that you've done in Western Armenia, as demonstrated in the hidden map, that they have pledged a $5,000 gift for Stephen to continue his work in Western Armenia. Do you want to say a couple of words, Stephen?
also like to thank the anonymous donor. If he wants to, or she wants to be non-anonymous and meet me, that's all right. I would like to thank the Pomegranate Film Festival organisers for inviting me here. The things I've been doing sort of quietly, discreetly, and on my own, and for myself mostly. So it's very encouraging to see so many other people who think that what I've been doing has been of value.
Yay!
May I just say that Stevenson, whom I met during my second trip to Western Armenia, to historic Armenia, Stevenson has been going to our historic lands for the last 35 years from Scotland by himself with a backpack, a camera, a measuring tape, and a few necessities, and a hat, and has gone to the ends of the earth, well, to the ends of our homeland, to the tops of mountains, to pits and caves, and has found things that had been lost or that had been crying for centuries to be, or at least a century, to be rediscovered. And he reminds me, and he reminds us all, that they're still there, and they're still calling out for us, that they're not all gone unless we say goodbye to them. So, Hamazkayin. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Armin. Thank you, Steve. Now, the Audience Choice Award for Best Documentary Feature Film is the one that you just watched, Armenia Uncovered. As you probably know, we have Ken Orkan and Andy Simon, the director, here tonight. If you guys could just please come up here, accept the award, say a couple of words before our Q&A, which will commence after the award.
Give it to him first. Give it.
I think that's the first time you've ever let me speak first. I'd just like to thank everybody here at Pomegranate for giving us this fantastic award and for enjoying our film. And hopefully we can come back next year and the year after and the year after that with Armenia Uncovered Part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Thank you. Please sit down. I just want to say, truthfully, that is the greatest honour for us to have been given that award, because to be honest with you, you don't expect it. You just come along and you produce a movie and you just want people to enjoy it. And thank you so much for recognising that and for giving us this award. So, Shunara Galatun, this was worth being awake for 38 hours. So thank you very much. God bless you.
Thanks, guys. We'll have you coming back in a few minutes. Okay, now, the first runner-up for the Audience Choice Award for Best Feature Film is Honest Thieves. So, we have Gord Villalosian, the director, actors, comedians, David Hamazkayin, Antek, all here tonight. If you want to come up, say a few words, collect your award.
Thank Thank you. This was very unexpected. Come on, guys. Thank you guys, thank you for enjoying our movie. Շատ գացած եմ։ Ձեր խաթն ապանախոս եմ տալի, որ մի հատ եք նկարեն։
Thank you, guys. Now, the final award, the second to last award of the night, the winner of the Audience Choice Award for the Best Feature Film is Searching. Oh. Co-writer and producer Seb Ohanyan was here for our screening, but he's in the middle of a large-scale production and had to head back to Cleveland. He's currently working on Space Jam 2, amongst other major projects. We'll make sure that we get the award to him. Now, finally, the winner of the inaugural Palm Scholastic Award for film geared towards student life is Bahik Paremze. Please come up to the stage, accept the award, say a few words.
Thank you very much. It's amazing. I'm receiving this award for someone who has no kids. And I think maybe that's the reason, I had to look from another point of view how our kids are growing up in our country, meaning Los Angeles, US, diaspora, and to look at these teenagers, how their lives look like. But I think the most important thing is that I'm sure you're gonna agree with me, they are our future. So this is for the young teenagers. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Now, it's my absolute pleasure to present our host for the evening, who will play, do we have the piano? Who will play the song from the film you just saw, entitled The March, composed specifically for the film, a man who really needs no introduction, all the way from London, Kevorkian. There it is.
Thank you. So, they've just told me to play the piano. They don't pay me, they don't do anything else, but they want to. So, I'm gonna play the piece of music that I wrote called The March from the documentary, and I hope you enjoy it. I wrote this piece of music simply because one, I felt it was very important that we put some original material into the documentary, but secondly, because in actual fact the piece of music that I wrote was a message that we need to be recognised once and for all, and this is the piece of music I wrote. I hope you enjoy it.
was fantastic. Merci, Kev.
I'm a chef, what's it, didn't I?
Kezinayim. True. Kev, if you'll take a seat. Andy, if you could come up here as well. So Andy Simon, director of the film, here all the way from the land down under. Now we're going to do our Q&A after I give them a mic. So I'll start off with sort of an easier question. Kev, focus.
I'm focusing.
That's Andy. It's okay.
Okay.
Andy, Keziyama.
Question for Andy.
For Andy, give him the mic. Andy, why this movie? What were you hoping to achieve?
I think growing up in Australia, I got tired of not knowing anything about the place that I was told that my family came from. And I got tired of people saying, where do you say you're from? Armenia? Is that Albania? Was that America? Was that... Nobody had ever heard of the word Armenia in the 70s and 80s in Australia. So I kind of had no real connection with my identity. And it wasn't until many years later that a whole series of events happened that allowed me to, I guess, want to connect with my past. Yeah, so I'll tell it, it's a long story, but I'll try and make it short. So Armenia was a difficult country to visit in the 70s and 80s, as probably most of you would be aware. It was a country that was under Soviet rule. It was, none of my family, relatives, friends that we knew of had ever been to Armenia. And as a kid, it was kind of like, as I say, this mythical place that, you know, I couldn't connect with. I felt far more Australian than I did Armenian. And to the point, sadly now, where I only know a little bit of the language. I'm actually having lessons now to learn the language properly. So I understand more than I speak. You told me to tell the story. So anyway, 1991 came along. I was a journalist back then, and my father used to say to me, "Oh, you must write stories about Armenia," and I wasn't interested. And then 91 came along, and we got our independence in Armenia, and he said, now is a good time, we should all go back to Armenia. But then sadly he died, and we never actually got to go to Armenia. And then a few years later, my mum got very sick. She had a seizure, and she lost her memory, and she was in hospital for about 6 weeks. And my wife said to me, you know, you should maybe talk to her about Armenia. And I thought about this, and so I went to visit her one day, and I said, look, Mum, if you get better, we'll go on a holiday, we'll all go back to Armenia. And then at the time, like they were trialling new drugs and things on her, different steroids, and about 2 weeks after I said that to her, she made this miraculous recovery. And she looked at me and she said, was I dreaming? Or did you say we're going to Armenia? So I said to my wife, guess what? I think we're all off to Armenia. So I guess it's because of that one moment that happened that was the genesis of this film. Because when we went back to Armenia the following year, 2015, it was the 100 years, the anniversary of the genocide. And we went to Armenia not expecting anything, because there was no information that I could find that told me anything about the country today. Nothing, you know, where to go out and where the best nightclubs are, or bars, or restaurants, or anything about that. It was all about the genocide. And we kind of already knew all of that, because we'd learned about that growing up, but we wanted to know more about modern day Armenia. So Flying into Armenia, nothing on the plane. Normally you get a destinations video. Checking into the hotel, nothing in the hotel rooms. Normally there's, you know, in-room entertainment, nothing. So when we left, I thought, maybe we should make a film. Or, well, I worked in television at the time, so I made television shows, but I'd never made a film before. So I thought, well, I'll have to look into this, but I thought it was a great idea because it was a chance to bring all of those thoughts together, put Armenia on the map, and you know, and in the process, help myself learn more about my past, my roots. Anyway, we came away. I thought about it for 2 or 3 months, and I still couldn't quite work out how I was going to do this because I didn't want to make a boring film like a National Geographic style narrative where you know, go and visit all the sites and that's about it. Until one night, I was online and I saw this segment from a show called Britain's Got Talent that I'd never ever watched before. And so I see this guy, yours truly, playing his piano, doing the Elton John segment, which I'm sure you've all seen a few times. And it cracked me up. And I got so excited because at that moment, I really believed if I could track him down and convince him to do this film, that we would have something that everybody would enjoy. So thanks for that. Anyway, I know he's dying to get the mic, so I'll be quick. The next day, I went on to LinkedIn. And I tracked him down on LinkedIn and I sent him an email and I said, yeah, this is an idea. He rang me back the next day and we talked and we hit it off over the phone straight away. And then he said to me, I'm coming out to Australia in July. Which is true, because he would come out and do pantomimes. Anyway, he came out to Australia a few months later and in his hotel room one day, we set up a green screen. I'm getting back in here. And we shot about 15 videos, little comedy sketches. Because I said to him, there's no point making a film if nobody's going to watch it. We need to know if we've got an audience out there. So we made these sketches and we put them all up on YouTube. One of them has had over 1 million views. Anyway, so that gave us an inkling that there's obviously something in this. Anyway, we went off and then we went to try and make the film, and that's when we hit another hurdle because in Australia I make brand-funded programs where you find you get an idea for a show and then you pitch it around to different companies, corporates that might want to invest in it, and there's synergy between the idea and the company, and they will then invest in the idea or invest in the show and you make the show. But it was a bit difficult with Armenia Uncovered because firstly, I'd never worked in Armenia, nobody knew who I was or what I'd done. So there was a difficulty in getting people to want to invest. But then also, the other problem we had was that marketing wasn't a huge thing, especially in tourism. There was no, coming out of the Soviet era, there was no concept of marketing. That's when we hit a major hurdle. And now I'm going to hand the microphone over to Kev, who's going to pick the story up from there.
And then we made it. Next question.
Kev, atrás.
Amen?
Are you ready?
Yes.
Kev, what do you think of the new Armenia? What were your impressions of the people, the places?
Well, to me, the first time I went to Armenia, I was 13 years old. And it was under Russian rule then. So, it was weird for me, to be honest with you, and it wasn't the most, I suppose, the most inspirational time for me because I didn't understand it as a child. Then I went back many years later, and again I saw the country, and I actually enjoyed being there. And then I've gone this time, and we did the documentary together, and we saw some places, and we did some stuff, and I have to tell you, it was one of the most beautiful places on earth. As soon as I got there, I just connected with the people, and it was, I mean, it was that funny. This is absolute true story. I'm giving away some of my show for next year, but absolute true story. When we arrived in Armenia, we were going through customs, and we've got, as you can imagine, suitcases, loads of these big, heavy-duty suitcases with cameras, sound equipment, all kinds of stuff, videography and everything. And as we're going through customs, we got 3 trolleys full of this gear, and this policeman, he turns up, I said, you know, so I just like walked up to him and I said, "Are you?" And because I'm the only person who speaks Armenian, I love you. He said to me, and I said, well, okay. I said, if you want to know what they are, and he said it in Armenian, of course, but I'll say it in English so everyone knows. But I turned around in Armenian, and then I said, well, the bottom, the black ones, the black bags, I said, they've got hand grenades. I said, the middle lot, all the grey bags, I said, that's your missile launchers, and I said, we've got some handguns. I said, and the orange, all the orange stuff, I said, that's cocaine. And he said, until. So, yeah, so that's New Armenia.
Fantastic. Guys, either of you, how are you able to gain access to some of the places that we see in the film? h-pem, Khorvirab.
Well, okay, let's tell about Rafi, yeah. Well, yeah, we did, absolutely, yes. So we stopped at the, just to continue from where Andy had left off, we couldn't do the documentary because we did a GoFundMe page, we raised £1,500, that was, sorry, it was £1,500, wasn't it? Was it dollars? Yeah, after 1 million views, yeah. Well, you told that already, they're not stupid. Oh, okay. So we raised $1,500 on a GoFundMe page, and certainly that wasn't going to help make this documentary. We needed at least $50,000 to $80,000 to make the documentary. So it was very difficult, and we gave up, didn't we? We said what we were going to do was we didn't give up on the project, but we gave up on the finances. So what we were going to do was raise our own money for our own work, and maybe even remortgage the house just to make this a reality for us. But we weren't allowed. So what we did instead, we kind of backed up and we thought, let's just get some work together, let's get some money together and just put our own money in. So, as we gave up, and there was 1 million views on one of our videos, a lady called Alice, who I went to Armenian school with, called me up. She said, hi Kev, Alice. I said, oh hi Alice, interested. And she went, yeah, I'm good. She said, why have you guys stopped talking about Armenia Uncovered? I said, because at the moment we haven't been able to raise enough money. And she said, what do you need? I said, well, we need someone to help us. And she said, let me introduce you to my husband, Rafi. So Rafi gets on the phone. He said, Kev, let me have a chat with you. Let's talk. Let's do a 3-way conversation. So I invited Andy in on the conversation. And as we were talking, he said, well, what's the documentary about? We told him. He said, send me the script. Immediately he sent the script across. And then it was literally 2 or 3 days later, he went, you've got the money, go. And that was it. So he put that up in his yeah. So that was insane. So that was the first part, and the second part was the first time we actually met was at the actual premiere, because up until that point it was literally just a handshake to say we're going to do this, let's trust each other and get this done, and that's what we did. So he just threw the money into my account, and we went and did it. So that was great.
And another really interesting fact about this whole story is that not a single contract has been signed right up until this day. It was all done on a handshake, a common belief and passion between 3 people in 3 different countries around the world that believed in making this film. And to this day, we've just become the best mates.
This question's open to both of you. Who did you enjoy working with most? What was it like to interview Charles Aznavour before his passing? Henry Mkhitaryan, Sirusho.
All of them were fantastic, but if there's one story that we never told you on this documentary, we were told that Charles Aznavour would only give us 1 hour, up to 1 hour, in the interview. And we flew out to Paris, and Rafi funded the project again. And we flew out to Paris, and you saw the interview that we did. And we were waiting inside. This is true story, totally true story. We waited for him, didn't we? Yeah, totally. I'm going to tell that story. And so it's true. And he came in, and what he demanded up until that point was no payment for the interview. He didn't want payment, but he wanted 500 euros for his makeup artist and 500 euros for his haircut. So when we told Rafi said, he's 90. Why does he want a makeup artist? I said, well, we need to give that to him. So, okay. So we took the 1,000 euros, and when they arrived, we gave 500 euros to the barber and 500 euros to the makeup artist. And the makeup artist went, done. So that was 500 euros, right? And then he went into the bathroom, and he had a haircut. And then he came back out, and they, whatever, and they got him all ready. And he sat down and said, hi, I said, I'm Armenian, my name's Kevork Kapikyan, but everyone calls me Kevorkyan because that's my stage name. Oh, you are Armenian? Yes. I said, so is Andy. I said, and our team are here. We were really excited to work with you. He gave us 2.5 hours interview. And in that interview, he gave us some stories that we literally had our mouths open, didn't we? I mean, stories about how he met Ray Charles, one of his very good friends. And Ray Charles actually came to his house in Paris in the 60s. No, was it the 60s or 50s? It might be the 50s. 50s or 60s. And they had a big party, and this Armenian girl was there, and of course Ray Charles, as you know, is blind, and he talks to this Armenian girl. They become very friendly, and then 9 months later she gives birth to his child. So in actual fact, Ray Charles has a half Armenian son in America, which is insane. So anyway, it's amazing, isn't it? And then once he gave us the 2.5 hours, he left. We all kissed, he signed an autograph and everything, and he left. And I went into the bathroom, and I looked on the floor, and there's all his hair. And you know those plastic bags they give you at the airport? You put your, your washing things in there so you can pass it through customs. I had one of those in my bag, and I took it out and I collected all his hair, and I put it in the bag, because what I wanted to do was then have a little frame with his autograph, our picture, and then some of the hair underneath, kind of do that. And I'm not making this up, but the memorabilia company in London has offered me £30,000 for the hair. And I'm not selling it because one day DNA could Charles has not going to listen. I'm not going to go with that. So yeah, all the interviews were great.
So now a little bit more of a serious question, Kev. Now that you're in with some of these famous footballers, when can we expect to see you on the pitch for Man U?
I'm a Tottenham Hotspur supporter, so you'll never see me on Man U. Not in a million years. Another question.
I'll let you go away with this one. Do you have any funny stories you want to share with us, besides the ones that you've already done?
Yes, I will do. I will share you 2 very quick stories. The first one, I have to stand up because I can't sit down when I'm talking. But the first one was true story, absolutely true story. We went to a beautiful restaurant. Really? We went to Okay. It's right when we have to sit there listening to you for half an hour. But anyway, okay. So we went into an Armenian. The first day we arrived, the lady that was looking after us, please remind me of her name. Was it Lucina or Sirarpi? Lucina. And she said to me, Anotiek. I said, yeah, of course. Okay. Each was a this mantı. So she takes us to this restaurant to eat mantı. And we walk into this restaurant, and there's 11, 12 of us, isn't there? So, yeah, something like that. There's a big team. And we walk in, and God bless Armenian people. To this day, God bless them. There was a table that started probably here, and I'm not joking. It finished about kind of like here. Like this way. And there was every colour under God's earth on this table. Amempan, loli, varung, soch, hummus, tzatziki, hatze, asiga, everything, right? And I'm like, oh my God. And then all the herbs, because they just eat herbs and bibers and things like that. So we were, and I'm like, oh my God, this is lovely. So I walked in, and the owner said to me, each was eso this, and I call everyone dai, tantik, mantik, So I tell him, dai, mantuk uzemgo, mantuk ushinem, getsi. He brings this tray in, massive, like a tractor wheel, and in it, manta, circle of manta, that's ooh, I said, okay, I said, gepeng, and he took it. Anyway, we all sat down. So he starts bringing the food. Get it. So hatso, ame manu danko. Soho asam soho asam kudam. As a lolik, everything. We're eating it. So then he brings the first course out, and we have these they're like dumplings, like little dumpling things, right? So we eat that. So we have the dumplings. Okay, this whole thing, and we eat that. Where's that? Aburu. And then he brings this aburu made with yogurt. I don't know, this aburu yogurt, whatever. Sebas, that's it, right? So we have that. So we're eating that, and let's go. Okay, so I'm like, oh, and then he brings that kebab there. Oh, wait, miss chicken, ame pana perab. Okay, and pilav, chips, mips. Ame pana perego. Mips na perab. And we're all like, so we all had that as well. So we're eating. Good. Okay, so we're so I said, okay, so at Zug, he brings the fish, right? So we have it each plate's got 2 fish. I said, so we have that. So Ariga Gudembo, I'll give it to Noren Soch Gudembo, I'll give it to Lolik, Hatzmat, Pilav, Amipan, Gudembo, Asam Kartis, the Gankan, we've never eaten, right? So Gudembo. And then I okay. Then he brings out another dish. I'm not making this up. Suchem Kosirwa. Golorasan, Misibes Pamapera, Varanasan, Lolik Mapa. Oh my god, Amigaya Gerant. Atkerech, that's it. Hosemes. Asam Shukkanungo. Like that. Mountain Pear! Kukago, Pear! So anyway. So at this point, get up. Hosem. How much you get now, bro? Okay. Get up, Tatsa, mountain chicken. Chibiri Namuda. Someone gets in, Pamachame, Gazy Gopnes. And he gives me this thing, it's about this big, right? Full. Okay, and he goes, Kameska, come, Gumarsek is Gumarsek. So I went, it's true story, there's another way. And he asked, because he said, Sugena, Tina says it. Okay, eyelids. I'm in Panas eyelids. And all I can think of is Kichivechun, Dermema Bidiella. Bidi eyelid. I'm eyelids. Eyelid Venture. Yes, as I'm like, oh my god. Like, it's a Tuskina. It's a Tuskina. But Restaurant in Archevit. This is nowhere up. This is true story. Restaurant in Archevit gets us. Gemendingo. Saving Gemendingo. The Tsugamuk, I'm a Hose. Eyelids, Martin's eyelids. I sit the Bavinch, the Bajaman. Gets us. Wait till the yellow. And there was again. Gets up. Police timeless. Timeless. Sigarayo gets in away to Asagra. Gukago. See, each Gukago gets in Maganestas. Restaurant in Tulsa, I'm not joking. I was at the summer, very something, go there. Okay. Make me choose my second. You get up. Asangre. Irem naisa asangra. Yegav. Inchegavasi at michotsin. I'm not making this up. This is what came out of my body. That's I'm just about to walk into the restaurant. That's a true story. That actually happened on the first day in Armenia. And the second one, which is true story, we in the hotel we had a masseuse. Yeah, we had 18-hour days, didn't we? They were really long days. He made me work really hard. We had 18-hour days. 18 jam film Kashenko, vet jam Bargisco, not in 18 jam film. It was amazing. We only had 13 days. We filmed all that in 13 days. So the hotel said, you look like you could do with a massage. I said, I'd love one. She said, do you want me to call the lady? I said, yeah. What's her name? And she said, her name's, was it Asha Luis or Diana? Asha Luis. Okay, Asha Luis. She said, Asha Luis. And I thought, Asha Luis, that sounds like a nice modern name. So I said, yes, please. She said, okay, book the name. In our money, it was like, not even like $10, was it? It was like for a full body massage for 1 hour. I thought, book it. So someone, okay, spasitsi. 2 women came in during that moment, right? 2 different women, gorgeous, beautiful girls, right? And I went, check. They go, oh my God, please, to Masuseri. Check. Ganik Mamadav, as Ganiga Yerguat Quid Geradzer.
Ure.
Asagari. Evi. Katsi Barinchak, Hotel Barinchak. Massage room. Massage room Madan, Gabut Luiser. Okay, that's it. Gabut Luiser, you have Angovinman. So, Amen Panatani Bargas. Okay, see, Amen Panahanisi Bargas tickets. Of course, there is high the Gaya. And the bargain room. Okay, Bargaza Dennis, she goes and puts the radio on. She went, and this music starts. Araf, oile, ıskısa, pandemigor, gepegor, inzi gepegor, okay, videoda, okay, so, gepegor inzi. She puts all the oil on me, right? And that very deep haigagan, the word, I don't understand it. So when people go, I'm like that all the time, right? But this woman, while I'm lying there, says to me, and I said, Ayo. Because I didn't know what else to say. And she went, shut up. That happened. Oh my! Ketipam said, make jump. Ella, I was so emotionally connected to her, I'm not joking. It was one of the, and then he went and did it. I said, you have to go and try it. This was his face after an hour. I was waiting outside, he walked out like this. And that's the true story. There you go, there's the story.
Can I even ask after that? Where do we go from here?
Thank you. Hamik, mante, trosa pizdiga sang terabala Mazunov yev paprika mana, aniga geran but I couldn't eat anymore. I was gutted, wasn't I, about the mante, to be honest. Wait to the watchman, that's yeah, the cigaran asak to put there as well, so I was a bit like, gamat saying, oh, to my guys.
Guys, what's next? What are you guys working on? Anything together? What can we wait to see from you?
Well, only last week when we were in LA after the APA, we were sitting by the pool, the 3 of us, me, Kevin, Rafi, and talking about ideas for the next one because we realised the chemistry's so good and, you know, people obviously want to watch more of Kev. So we're shooting around some ideas now for a part 2, but I don't know. Can I go into it? It's probably a bit early to discuss ideas and things.
We are talking about doing Army Run Trouble 2 with the mountain as well.
Oh, yeah. Actually, before we do that, the next phase for the film for us, I think, is it's been entered in a few other foreign film festivals, but we probably won't go to any more of them. This will be the last one we go to. But the next big thing for us is to get this onto Netflix. Because I think it's great showing this film to Armenian audiences because we know you get it, we get it, we know you get it, but I think it needs to be shown to non-Armenians, and that was the whole point of the exercise from the get-go. It wasn't made for an Armenian audience, as much as we all love to watch it and enjoy it and laugh, but it's got to be shown to a bigger non-Armenian audience. Bigger than that. Can I just also just quickly say that having watched Arnie's film and Steve's film this afternoon, brilliant film guys, thoroughly enjoyed it. That film needs to be seen by a wider non-Armenian audience as well. Here's to that.
So at this point, what do you think? Should we open it up to some questions from the audience? Are you tired? Do you want to have some questions? Yes? Okay.
We'll take a couple, 2 or 3 questions, sure. And then let everyone go and drink and party and just have a nice time. Shout, what I'd say.
Questions?
Go for it, bro.
Very serious question. Working in Armenia and doing this film, that 13 days that you guys were there, how many pounds did you guys gain?
You want to say that, right? The truth of the matter is, all 4 of us became seriously ill during our time in Armenia. Because we were there at the hotel, and one of the things, the rules that we were not aware of, that was told to us 2 days later, was that when we brush our teeth, you gargle with bottled water, not with the tap water. And we gargled with the tap water, and we all got seriously ill. And we had major stomach cramps and things. So when you're driving on the roads going to like Co-op Centre and this and that, and you're going like this, and then your body, you're like, oh, good, that was seriously hard. And all 4 of us went seriously ill, didn't we, on that? You were the last to get ill, yeah, to be fair, but we all got ill. So even though we put on pounds and pounds of weight, we lost it immediately after. So yeah, it was quite a crazy time, to be honest. Yeah.
It's hard to pick a favorite, but do you have a favorite spot after visiting so many?
Go on.
Noravang. The first time I went there in 2015 with my family, I just stood there and the place just took my breath away. And I thought, wow, the world needs to see this. It's just the most inspirational, mind-blowing place. Just to think that our ancestors built that monastery all the way up there, which is so hard to get to. It's almost, you know, a completely rough, rugged terrain. To think they were, you know, this is 1339, this was built. So it puts it in perspective. It was amazing. I would thoroughly go back again and again.
And mine was Khorvirab, when I played the piano, overlooking the mountain. That was one of my favourite things. I actually got really emotional at that place. We had to film a few times again because I kept breaking into tears, because it's just something else. It's something else. So yeah, that was magical. Yeah.
One last question.
Back here.
2 more questions.
Question is for Kev. How many years ago?
You'll be the next lady, okay?
How long ago did you decide to write the music, the song? Like, how many years ago was it?
Just 2 or 3. Yeah. Just 2 or 3 years ago, I wrote the piece of music, but I didn't have a platform to put it on. So when the lovely Andy wrote the synopsis for Armenia Uncovered, I said, is it possible we can do it? Because my idea was, believe it or not, originally, because I told you about this, didn't I, was what I wanted to do was I wanted to raise money for the Armenian orphans in Armenia by living in Khorvirab for a week in the hole with the same amount of bread and food that the Krikolo Savoric would have got. And we were going to put in video cameras in the actual Khorvirab, in the actual den, and I was going to live in there for a week with just like maybe a sleeping bag or whatever, and just relive that experience. And people would then watch it online, and they would donate money while I was staying in there and whatever. But there was this whole thing, there was this whole thing that we had planned. But when he came up with the idea of doing the whole documentary, I thought, well, we can talk about Horvidap and maybe we'll leave me not being in there for the week and all that.
I was just going to say, I said yes to Kev's song being used in the film without even hearing it, so...
That's right, yeah. That's right, yeah. No, thank you.
When I heard it, I was pleasantly surprised because it's a beautiful piece of music, so...
I'm glad you were pleasantly surprised.
Last question.
I have to say, I joke with him, but I absolutely adore this man. He's one of the greatest. I wish he was my brother. Go for it.
We visited in Armenia an old archaeological site called Karashunch, which is very close to England's Stonehenge. And it's made of big stones with little round openings in it, and it's supposed to be a religious or archaeological site. Do you have any knowledge about that?
We knew about that before we filmed the documentary. We also knew about, Mashtot's Alphabet Park. There's so many stories like that that still have to yet be told in Armenia, and that's one of the reasons. Like, we only had, as we said, we only had 13 days because that was Kev's availability. We shot every single day over 13 days. He's a lovey. But we will definitely, when we return, be telling all of those other stories as well, because, it's Armenia's Stonehenge, like you say. And it's another amazing piece of history that we have in Armenia that the world knows nothing about.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. This is just a small token of appreciation from the festival. We're courtesy of our generous sponsor, Nadia Designs, for many clips.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to say thank you once again. Now, thank you to everyone here. Thank you, Shnoragalatun, to everyone for their support and coming out tonight. We actually set a record this year with 3 sold-out screenings, including tonight's screening. Now, everyone, please note that there's actually a little bit of a soiree after this. There's further refreshments outside, courtesy of Mighty Restaurants and Bars Fine Foods, Oyster Moister Adan Paner. We look forward to seeing you all at the 15th installment of Hamazkayin's Pomegranate Film Festival next year.